Hello guys, welcome to another driving video. So this was a mock test at Hither driving test route on the 28th of March 2022, and the the mock started at about 12:30 in the afternoon. So this is what the traffic would be like at that time of the day, at least on this day. So let's see what common mistakes happen that many learners make, and see what he does on this mock test. So stay tuned and see you in between. From the beginning, yeah, so I'll direct you as usual. Then towards the end, I'll let you follow the sat nav, and then we'll do the independence driving. So, but before you go, I just want you to tell me. So your tell me question: how would you know if your ABS light, or how would you know if your anti-lock braking system is working correctly?
It's when the ABS light comes on and flash, if it goes off, that means it's working effectively.
Okay. So the way that I like to explain this bit, now every time you turn your ignition off, your ABS light would come on the dash for a few seconds, and this should go off again after that few seconds. But if it stays on, then there is a fault with your anti-lock braking system. Now also, at any point, if your ABS light comes on, then again that means that there is a fault with your anti-lock braking system. So in a simple explanation that is on DVSA's show me tell me questions, it just says warning light should illuminate if there is a fault with the anti-lock braking system. Now that is also acceptable, I believe. When you're ready, let's go. I want you to just continue straight on this road, and then at the end of the road we'll turn right.
Okay.
And then turn right at the junction. Approaching the second junction into the test, the learner got his first serious fault, and this was for clearance. So as he was approaching the cars parked ahead, he was paying more attention at his mirrors and trying to signal, while not realizing that he's getting too close to the parked vehicles. So remember, check your mirrors, look forward, and move on. That's a write-off. Oops. So at the end of the road, turn right, please. you to take the next road on the left, so just after the zebra. At the roundabout ahead, take the first exit left, please. Turn left at the end of this road, please. Yeah, at the end of the road. As the learner approached this junction, he misses the speed sign. So when he turned left onto Lewisham High Street, he was now driving over the speed limit. See this road you're on is a 20 miles an hour road. So you've been driving over 20 for a while since there was enough space to make progress. And that's because you were not aware there was a speed limit sign just at the end of the road where you turn left into this road. Now if that was your test, you would have got a serious fault for that. So be aware of that on this road. Look out for the speed sign. This is 20. Remember to always give passing pedestrians enough room if they're crossing in front of you. So ease off the gas, let them get into safety before you make progress. You slow down while that man was crossing, let him finish crossing, and then you continue after that. So it's gonna feel a lot slow on this road because of course it's big, everyone is over speeding, but you've got to remember you're the only one doing the right thing. 20 miles an hour, no excuses. Traffic light ahead, the learner was intending to cross the light even though there was enough time to stop. So I had to intervene and stop the car using my brake. So that would be another serious fault. One of the major reasons to fail. Your driving is good, but when you start to worry, you do things you don't really need to, and then that stops you from missing what you actually need to. So we're going to turn right at the next traffic light. And as he turns right at the traffic light ahead, he fails to signal right to make his intention known to other road users around. Because we're taking a bend away from a straight path, I always recommend to signal so that everyone knows what you're going to do. If we were to have been going straight ahead, then that wouldn't have been a problem. Now, the funny thing was that the traffic light before that one where we were turning left and it was a one-way, he actually signaled left when it wasn't really necessary. But no problem if you did. But then at this point where we have two directions that we could have been going through, you really want to make sure you're signaling to let other road users know of your intention. And as we're approaching the next traffic light ahead to turn left, the road divides into 3 lanes, making the left lane so narrow, and ahead is a big truck almost into our lane, and yet he was going quite too fast as he approaches the truck, while also moving away from the truck and then almost hitting the curb. So I had to steer him away from the pavement. So remember, when you're going through narrow spaces, slow down and try and understand that the cars are not always going to be in the same position, especially when you're moving from a smaller vehicle to meet a bigger vehicle. They will be taking up more space in the road. And for this reason, slow down as you approach this point so that you can check your mirrors and readjust your position, and maybe consider stopping if you can't fit. So you notice that you're not really spotting the road signs, the speed signs, you're missing them a lot. So just relax, don't focus too much on one thing. The second road on the left, so it'll be where those cars just came out from. So turn left at the traffic light. turn left at the end of the road, please. Take the next road on the right, please. Continue straight ahead at the junction ahead. So at the junction ahead, the learner positioned over the center line again, and considering the narrow space for cars turning right into the road from the left, the driver on the left decided to give way, but the driver was not aware of this. So he continued to wait, even though the driver was waiting for him to go, so that it's going to be easier for this driver to turn into the road. So watch how much the car had to keep left on the main road just to create more room to turn right into this road, and watch the closeness to the car as he turns. So at this point I give a minor fault, but I'm so reluctantly giving that minor fault because I'm really trying to decide for serious. But remember, another person could have given him a serious fault here for two reasons. One was for planning and awareness at the junction, and the other was for positioning at the junction also, because bear in mind, this is not the first time he's done this. It's kind of like an habit now. So be aware of your surroundings and make clearance when possible. If a road is narrow and you've got more room in your lane, move and push a little bit more for other road users to have some space to maneuver around you. Remember, because it's your lane does not mean you take it up all and not consider other road users as well. So at this point, I told him to continue straight unless the road sign tells you otherwise or directs you otherwise. And this is that same place where everyone always misses the no entry sign ahead of us. And guess what?
Hey.
So yes, you guessed right. So that was me breaking him because he was just about to go through the no entry sign.
He did it willfully. I know.
Let's turn. So go left.
I know he did it willfully.
I didn't do it willfully. I just told you to follow the instruction. Now the sign is right there. The question will be, how could you not have seen that? Even if I did it willfully, but you could see the sign. Or didn't you see it? So we're going to turn right. So you know I mentioned to you earlier on, I said you're not paying attention to the road signs, which is why you're missing a lot of the speed signs you're passing, and that was just a full evidence to it. Now you had a clue. This UPS van was right in front of you. He turned left, and as he moved off, I thought maybe you would gonna follow him. That could have reminded you, why didn't he go straight? But apart from that, the no entry sign was very clear, but your mind is not there. So we're gonna turn right at the junction. And then at the junction, turn right again, please. So at this junction again, he positions over the center line yet again. Whoa. And as you would see, another vehicle turning from the left into this road struggles to pass again, and he was looking at us wondering, why did we do that? So positioning again, see, we're again over the center line, and see that man looking at you? That's because it becomes more difficult for people turning into the road. And then just before he moved off, he forgot to check his right once again. But luckily he manages to stop before that red car could get any closer. Always make sure that it is safe on all sides before moving off at junctions. It's always the nerves. And then a very good driver becomes a bad driver. Look, he's giving you way. So go on. The traffic light is red over there. Now when you don't pay attention and miss the opportunity, then it's just your planning awareness. Now earlier on you missed a similar opportunity, and when we pull up on the left, I'll explain that bit. I want you to take the next road on the left, please. This is just before the zebra crossing. And you're turning quite too slow into some of these roads. The space is big enough. Give the car just a little push to help it move forward, isn't it? Now we slow down enough. That was perfect. And then once you steer the wheel, give the car a little push. Just give it just slight push to just move away from the road, because you're turning from a 30 miles an hour road, and the space is decent enough to actually get to about 5 miles, 6 miles an hour, but you're turning about 3 miles, 4 miles an hour. So I want you to pull up on the left just before the silver car. Now give yourself enough space to pull up again. I'm sorry, to move off. Okay, what else? Yeah, the junction. The no entry. Now, if you've watched enough of the videos on YouTube, you would have noted that place. And I think I brought you here once as well, and you got it. Yeah, I've brought you here before. And I told you, wow, you were one of the few people who saw that sign and reacted to it. So I'm glad the first time I brought you, I didn't tell you we're having a mock. So you drove normal. And today, because we're doing a mock, you get to the same road and you miss the same sign. So just to remind you, and just to say again and emphasize, remember, just relax. Just keep it calm, stay calm, because this is exactly what would happen. People say, oh, I don't know the route. It doesn't matter. Even if you drive on that road every day, as long as you're nervous, you know you're on a test, you will miss the most obvious things in front of you. And that's one of the sessions we've had today. Now, if there were to be a fail, it would have been again because you're not relaxed. Because, like I already said, the way you drove coming to Hither was much way better than the way you drove, because you know you're doing a mock test. And then you now put yourself under pressure, and you're now serious. You're serious. So when you're ready, Let's move off. And then whenever it's safe, I'd like you to pull up on the left, please. So just a very common mistakes learners do. I say pull up on the left whenever it's safe, and he takes the first immediate opportunity he sees, which means at this point there was not enough time for any following vehicles behind to be able to react, because it just wasn't necessary to take that first opportunity, and there was a better opportunity ahead. Only if he had just looked far into the road, he would have spotted that. So remember, when you're asked to pull up on the left when it's safe, look far into the road to find the furthest opportunity away from you, and then count from there or pick from there. Don't look starting from the front of you, because you're going to jump onto the first one, which is not always going to be the safest option. Unless, of course, if examiner tells you to pull up at a specific place, which they would have checked to make sure it's safe, but it is then your responsibility to make sure you also check your mirror and signal appropriately. But luckily, there was no vehicles or other road users who were affected by this, because there was no one around. But if there was anyone behind, this could have been a different outcome. Now, on the other hand, it also pulled up quite too close to the curb, and with the car not straight, so the back end of the car was slightly into the road, and he almost hit the curb, that my foot was just wavering over the brake pedals waiting to stop him. Now, the second thing is I probably wouldn't have chosen this place anyway, because I told you, I said when it's safe, pull up on the left place. Now, as soon as I said it, you took the next immediate opportunity you saw, which was just as I told you, and you took the nearest one to you. And the question is, was that actually safe enough to give someone behind you enough notice of your intention? Now, luckily there was no car behind us, but if there was a car behind us, was that enough time to have given them to slow down? Did they have enough chance or enough time to slow down for you to take the turn? Did you have enough time yourself to observe and see if there was any cyclist beside you? So you bumper mirror signal straight away. Oh, I mean, I could see straight ahead over there. There was 2 spaces in front of us ahead, and I would have given you enough time to plan out, pull up. So I wasn't really expecting we were going to take this, but it won't be a problem. But again, it would be a problem if there were people behind you, and as soon as you decide to turn here, and then they had to slow down quickly. So you have to remember, how is your braking, which in this case braking so that you can pull up in here, how is it going to affect the people behind you? So don't rush into things when they say to you, pull up when it's safe. So from this point, I'm going to let you follow the sat nav, which is going to be your independent driving. So whenever you're ready, I'd like you to follow the sat nav, please. So again, as he moves off, we make the first mistake, signaling right to turn right when there's just another road before the end of the road. So this again is due to nervousness. And then I asked him to show me how to turn the dip headlight on. That's the one I was hoping. And again, he was trying to do it while it. So when it's safe, I'd like you to show me how you turn your dipped headlight on in this car, please.
At the end of the road, turn right, George Lane, then turn left, Hither Green Lane.
Deep headlight.
Safe.
Turn right, George Lane, then turn left, Hither Green Lane.
coming into a bend, and my attention at that point would be on the road, trying to position myself well and making sure that I'm going to be aware of anything coming from the opposite direction at this point in the road. So yeah, bear in mind, show me whatever when it's safe.
Turn left,
Make sure it is
Hither Green
safe to
Lane.
do so.
Then turn right, Enrosdale Road.
Wait for them to cross. Don't forget, new highway code. People waiting or crossing at the junction. Give them way. They've passed, so let's go.
This one you don't twist. I don't know this one.
Don't worry,
After
that's
200
fine.
yards,
Don't worry about
turn
that.
right, Enrosdale Road. Then you have reached your destination. Turn right, Enrosdale Road. Then you have reached your destination.
This is my best driver for the month, and yet again this is happening. Remember, this has happened once. If you look back into my previous videos, I had one of my best drivers as well. I believe that was in December 2021, who failed under 2 minutes, if I'm right. And that was again because of anxiety for the test anxiety. So relax, stay calm, try hard to get through that fear or the nervousness. Don't push yourself when no one is rushing you. Take your time to do things. It isn't that difficult, believe me. It's actually much more easier to pass the test than to calm yourself down. So we have now come to the end of the test, and as you already know, we had numerous serious faults. Not because he wasn't a good driver, but just because he was a nervous driver. We had a drive to get to Hither Green, and after this test, going back home to the end of the lesson, the drive again came to normal, and he drove so well to finish the lesson. So which just goes back to the point that it's just the nerves. If you can calm it down, if you can stay relaxed, you would be looking at things ahead of you, and you will be responding and reacting to them, because then there is communication going on between your eyes and your mind, and of course passing messages to your body. But if that communication link is broken, you will literally see things, but you are blind mentally to them. But physically you can see, but you're not going to react. So stay calm, stay relaxed. Most times when instructors tell you you're not ready, I can guarantee you, at least for many of my learners that I have at the moment, we've had to cancel a couple of tests this month. And most of them are just because they're not mentally ready enough. The nerves is taking a toll on you because you want the license, you want to pass the test so bad. And that's why you are so not ready. So you've got to try and be less, you have to try and be less desperate for it. Keep those pressures away. Whatever the reason is that you want the license for, remind yourself the more you want it is the more reason why you need to stay calm, so that you don't show it in your reaction on your test. Because when you're thinking of the reasons why you want it, instead of thinking of what is ahead of you on the road, then you're just 1 minute closer to failing or making that serious mistake. So remember, guys, you can do it. It is possible only if you can just stay calm and read what you see on the road. Pay attention, react to the signs. When you see things ahead of you, ask yourself what you've got to do. Ease off that gas, let your speed start to drop so that at least you have more time to plan and more time to react. So stay safe, guys. Good luck and best of luck with your lessons and your test. And I'll see you in the next video. Take care.